Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Now in this video, I'm going to do my response to a very interesting comment left, I think it was last week, one of the videos, I can't remember which, but I did reshare the comment in the UGWC Facebook group. If you're not a member, there's a link in the description. Now the response from you guys was tremendous and very insightful to why we love wristwatches and why we collect. Now the comment was something along the lines of there's no point owning a wristwatch anymore because checking the time on your cell phone is infinitely more accurate. Now, while of course there is an element of truth to that, in this video I want to give my 10 reasons why owning a wristwatch is just as important today as it always has been, and why we love to collect. Now, before we get into this, I've got to do a wristwatch check, and yes, I have put it on the NATO. I'm wearing the Explorer, the Rolex Explorer. I've put it on a Sean Connery themed NATO strap, slightly inspired by my latest purchase. I bought a new Parker, and this in turn was inspired by the EDC picture I smuggled out of the Mad Men exhibition in the last video. If you missed it, have a look. It has a burgundy handle to match the burgundy stripe in the NATO strap. Just a little treat. I thought I'd treat myself. You guys know I love my Parker Jotta. So yeah, you can never have enough of these. I like to put one in my bag, one on my desk, one at my at work, at my office at work. So yeah, a little treat. So that is my wristwatch check. A little bit predictable. I know it was only a matter of time until I got it on the NATO strap. But actually, I got to be honest, with the glide lock, I love the sub with the oyster bracelet. Wristwatch check done. Let's roll the intro and get into today's video. Yeah, so let's crack on. Now, my 10 reasons why owning a watch, everyone should own a watch, and why it's just as important in the age of the cell phone. So we'll start at number 1, and that is watches are part of horology, the story of horology. Now, this is a word that gets bandied about so much, especially I see it all the time, like on Instagram, you know, oh, it's the horology this, horology that, and then all it is watches. Now, watches is just a part of horology. Horology goes all the way back to the beginning of human civilization. It runs parallel to the development of human civilization. It is, in essence, the story of humanity to a certain degree. I love the history of horology. For me, there's so much more than just watches. You know, from the early obelisks of ancient Egypt, casting their shadow on the sands to tell time, to Stonehenge, to the water clocks of ancient Rome, to the Aztec calendar at the Zocalo in Mexico City, hourglasses used by Portuguese explorers to circumnavigate the globe, the marine chronometers of Harrison, the Tompion clocks of the Regency era, the beautiful astrological clock at the Hampton Court Palace, Greenwich. There's so much to discover, and watches for me are part of that legacy, part of that history. I feel linked to it when I look at my watch. And you could argue, yes, the timekeeping in a phone is part of that as well, but I don't think so much, because there is so much craftsmanship and refinement in watchmaking of all levels that I feel a little bit more connected with a watch. So owning a watch is part of that story. So the story of horology, vitally important. And it's something that I will always... I have a look back at my history of horology. I did a long time ago, a couple of years ago. It's fascinating. I love learning about it. Yeah, anyway, so that is my number 1 reason. Fundamental, my number 1 reason. Number 2, the importance of time itself. Time is the most precious of commodities. You know, you ask any billionaire on their deathbed, they're not wishing for more wealth or acquisition of, I don't know, a football club or yachts or whatever. They ask for more time. And it's something that unites us, no matter what your creed, religion, nationality, time unites us all. It's so important, and by having a watch, I feel connected to that as well. There's a very personal relationship that goes on with a watch. I've done a video a long time ago when I talked about the biomechanical relationship you have with your timepiece. This little ticking heart that you wear on your wrist. And then with the manual winds, I made the comparison. They're a little bit like a mechanical Tamagotchi. You feed it with the power of winding it, or with an automatic, they literally are feeding off your energy, your movement. There's an incredible relationship there that you don't get with a cell phone or the cold kind of, basically a computer that you could argue the same to a certain extent with digital watches. But the funny thing is, I do feel some digital watches have a soul, because there's an element of style. Anyway, that's a whole nother debate. But one thing I must point out is that when I look at a watch, they also remind me of my own mortality. There is a memento mori element to a watch. And also with the round dial of a watch, it reminds me of the Ouroboros, the symbol of infinity, of wholeness, the snake eating its own tail, the cycle that we live in. There's a deep, profound link to a watch that I just don't get with a cell phone. I know it's a little bit of a kind of abstract concepts here. You need to honor it with a real watch. Number 3, the refinement of owning a timepiece. And I feel that this is, especially in this age, this very kind of, we live in a very disposable age. The other day, the Hoover stopped working, and instead of fixing my little vacuum cleaner, it was cheaper just to replace it. We live in a disposable age. Some of these timepieces are with us our whole lives. This aspect really has been lost. It's a refinement that I consider just as important as being able to polish your shoes, or being able to fold a shirt. And don't comment on my messy shirt. It's very hot in here. But these kind of life skills, it's integral. If you want to be a gentleman, it's integral to know a little bit about horology, a little bit about watches. Most people don't even know the difference between an automatic and a quartz. And I think it's lost in this generation. So the refinement is crucial to being a well-rounded individual. It's just as important as reading, in my opinion, classic books or knowing just the basics, It's a lost refinement. You could argue, is that the same for phones? I don't know. I don't think it's as important. It's an attention to detail, especially if you're sartorially inclined, matching the outfit, that kind of thing. It's a refinement. Owning a real watch and having a knowledge of horology makes you more respectable. It makes you look more professional. If somebody has a nice timepiece on, and irrelevant of cost, because we all know this, if you follow this channel, you can get iconic, beautiful timepieces for as little as from $10 to 500, under 1,000, under 200. There's so much to choose from. But when I see somebody with an interesting, tasteful timepiece that complements their outfit, I automatically, I hate to admit it, but I respect them a little more. Anyway, so that was number 3. Number 4, the hobby, the culture, the sense of community, especially within the gentry, is a prime example. There really is a strong sense of community. I'm very, very thankful and proud of the respectful nature of the viewers and hardcore supporters of this channel. You feel a part of something. There's always something to learn. I'm learning constantly. I learn something about watches every single day. I don't feel there is that with a phone. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's hardcore phone enthusiasts. I don't think so. In our community, there's such a wonderful sense of kind of belonging and togetherness, and we're all learning from each other and sharing our wristwatch checks, and it's enriching to our lives. And I've made lifelong friends that I really do value, that I consider like family now, from these timepieces. And we talked about, especially in this generation, the aspect of enjoying watches and knowing about this subject as a bit of a dying art form, a bit of a dying passion. And I feel that with our community, it's a great way to keep it alive, to keep to provide a platform to learn and enjoy the hobby more. So it's wonderfully rewarding and very inspiring. I get inspired to make more content from the community, from the gentry. It really is a wonderful thing. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5, the tradition of owning a watch. Unlike phones, you can't hand your phone down to the next generation. I mean, you can, but I've never inherited a phone and thought, oh, this is wonderful. I was very fortunate enough to inherit my grandfather's pocket watch that really got me into mechanical timepieces. Also my father's Seiko that got me into automatics. But what I love about it is that I get an essence of them. I get a little bit of their personality is passed down to the next generation. It's a wonderful way to be remembered by, and also to remember your ancestors. The fact that they wore these timepieces, it's a reflection of their personal style and their taste, and it's unlike anything else you can inherit. It really is. It's a very special thing. I don't want to own the brick phones that my parents owned, you know. Do you? Maybe for a little bit of nostalgia and maybe for a laugh, but a watch is serious. A watch is serious. And you can still wear them. I can still wear, if I wanted to, the pocket watch my grandfather owned. And if you didn't inherit the timepiece, you can start that tradition and you can be remembered by for generations to come. It's really is incredible. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 6, the practicality of a watch. Just to go like this, boom, I know the time. Reaching for your phone in your pocket. What happens if you're on vacation, you forget your power cord, your battery runs out? Or actually, even going into Manhattan, I've been on the phone, it dies because I've been taking wrist shots in front of the Chrysler building. This keeps on ticking. I know people personally that have owned Seiko divers for 15 plus years without a service, and it's still ticking along. Wristwatches are not invincible. They are complex little mechanical machines. Of course, some of them go wrong. It's happened to the best of them. I've bought an Omega watch, brand new. It was a chronograph. It was a Speedmaster. I had to return it. Didn't function. Of course, I'm not saying that they're invincible. What I'm saying is that it's definitely, in the whole scheme of things, it's a much more dependable, trusted technology that isn't going to be obsolete in a couple of months. I can depend on this Explorer, 10 years from now, if I maintain it, of course. And if I was going to go up Everest, I'd take this. I wouldn't take my cell phone. I'd take this. I can jump in the ocean with this. I can go trekking in the jungles to find an Aztec pyramid. I would take this every single time. It's independent of a power, so it runs off my energy, off my movement. And if need be, you buy a G-Shock. I could drop a G-Shock off the roof of my house, and I know it will be absolutely fine. Could you do that with a cell phone? I don't think so. It's number 7, buying a watch for investment. You can't buy a cell phone for an investment. A cell phone is much like a car. It depreciates the second you walk out the store. Yes, okay, it's more accurate telling the time. Of course it is. You've got GPS and satellite, blah, blah, blah. If you buy the right watch, it can actually appreciate in value. Some of them at a phenomenal rate if you know what you're doing. Even the most basic quartz keeps its value better than a cell phone. Okay, so that was number 7. Number 8, watches are a wonderful personal expression of your style and personality. No other personal possession or accessory or part of your outfit is as expressive and can vary in versatility and in just the sheer amount of choice you have, colors and designs and genres and functionality and in useful complications, a watch is a wonderful way to express yourself. It really exudes your personality unlike any other thing on your person. It really does. It also can make you look really stylish and cool. It enhances your style, and if you match it correctly to your outfit, can make you look dapper as hell. I mean, it really can. At most, with a cell phone, you put a Hello Kitty case on it or something with bling, or actually one time I did have a cell phone case with a Vermeer painting on the back. I thought it was pretty charming and pretty stylish, but a cell phone doesn't make you look cool. And I do feel that, especially with the style blogs, right? They put so much effort into their suits and the little pocket squares and getting everything matching this and color coordinating and this month's pattern or style or colors, or this season's this season's that, these trends, right? And then what do? They slap on a very disposable fashion watch that just everybody has. It is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. I feel, why would you undermine the whole thing? Nothing is as cool and as stylish as when you have complemented the finishing garnishing on an outfit with the perfectly matching watch. And it doesn't have to be expensive. If anything, my channel has proved that you can buy an iconic stylish watch at all price ranges. And obviously it's gonna get more refined, and the higher the craftsmanship, the more you spend. But coolness and style is not directly linked to price. There is cool and stylish at all price ranges, right? So anyway, I'm gonna go off on a style rant. Okay, so that was number 8. Number 9, it's a really great conversation starter. Now, it works both ways. The amount of times I've had girls ask me for the time, so there's also that aspect to it as well. And if you don't have a watch, you look like a bit of a bumbling fool. But at the same time, all you have to do is if you want to start a conversation, it's a great way to start a conversation. You look at their timepiece and you compliment them. You say, wow, I love your timepiece, really very stylish. Never ask, how much did you pay for it? That is rude. That is a little bit vulgar. But it's a great segue in, you pay them a compliment, you get a smile, and that's how you get a conversation started. Don't go overboard. Don't start doing the Tommy Knoll, serious watch enthusiast geek and say, oh, that's the 75655 caliber, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the Niverox hairspring was introduced in that particular model in 85. You sound crazy. You sound like that. Normal people, again, most people don't understand the difference between manual wind and automatic, right? So don't go in there too hard with the watch geekiness, right? Just say it looks nice, it complements you beautifully, and you take it from there. It's pretty much common sense, right? Anyway, I've never had a girl come up to me and say, oh, nice phone, where are you from? Right? It's never happened, unless you've had it happen to you. But yeah, watches are a great conversation starter. And for example, if I start talking to a girl and I start talking to her phone, it's a little bit geeky. I think with watches, there's still an element of romance and sophistication about watches that you don't get with phones. And also with phones, you get that connotation that you're trying to get their number. It's a little bit too obvious. So I think watches is a really great way to go. Anyway, so conversation starter, that was number 9. Number 10, marking important occasions in your life. This is a wonderful reason to buy watches, to enjoy watches. It's part of the charm of a timepiece, is the memories associated with that timepiece. And I've said it a million times before, the Proustian Madeleine moments look at my sub, that's a perfect example. Every time I wear my sub, I think of traveling to Las Vegas with my wife, or holidays, adventures I've had. I instantly, even putting it on, I have that, it triggers it off, like the Madeleine moment. In the UGWC again, we've had people post pictures, wristwatch checks, as they've had births, you know, with their firstborn or secondborn or whatever it is. It's wonderful to think that for the rest of their life, wearing that watch will always commemorate that moment. It's a great way to mark graduations, weddings, a gift to loved ones. I actually think giving a watch is one of the most wonderful gifts. The fact that you can commemorate not only people but family. Grail watches, my 30th birthday, getting my Submariner, very special. Some watches might even sum up a whole decade. They become that powerful in the way they trigger and associate memories. It's very, very special. A phone, for example, will never do that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So those are my 10 reasons why wristwatches are just as important now as they will ever be. And I've got to say, I'm very optimistic about the future. There's so much to learn. There's so much to delve into and to discover with wristwatches. I feel it's almost as infinite as time. Bit corny, but yeah, I'm very optimistic. And every day I learn something new, and it really is such a rewarding and exciting hobby to have. So those are my 10 reasons. Please do share yours below. I'd love to hear what you love most about wristwatches. What are your reasons? What are your favorite reasons for owning a wristwatch? And how do you feel a wristwatch is superior, or what a wristwatch has that a phone simply does not? Thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, found it useful. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.